There we go. How do you... Yep, mic, pick up. That's good. Don't need any audio out. All right. That's fine. And if the camera stops autofocusing, can't really see, but then again, you know, whatever. I got my... It's just a desk lamp. I'm just, you know, just painting away. Why? Well, kind of bored. I figured today's as good a day as any for doing some painting. Just, you know, and usually when I use my darks, I just get it all over the base because I usually want the base to be black anyway. So this is just a secret little chill stream. I got all these minis, and they're not official, like, game tabletop brand or anything. But, yeah, you can kind of tell, because, well, I don't know. A lot of them have capes, and, like, a lot of the capes are, like, really deep in there, like, all the way, like, modeled separately. It makes it kind of hard to get in there. But then again, I'm not really experienced enough to, yeah, hands. Look, I just clipped my nails. Aren't they great? I'm not really experienced enough to probably even complain about it. But I've seen Sigurd paint. It has to be the paints because he can't be that good. But his stuff looks really good. My stuff is sloppy as all get out. But I'm also trying a different... Well, he's probably got like the right primer or whatever. I'm just like... I got a box, well, more accurately a bag, of just random assorted miniatures of varying quality. And I'm just going through it. Here's my 99-cent on sale acrylic paint. Got a box of it down here. You can see it. And just spray paint that I used as primers. Though it's not actually primer, but it's like $3 at the arts and crafts store. So let's see. I got like 100 of these for 30 bucks. So these are 30 cents each. Yeah. So I'm painting for like less than $10. Well, I guess whatever. But some of these high quality miniatures, like this, there's a high quality one by WizKids. They have really good miniatures that come pre-primed, and they're kind of hard to see there. Yeah, there you go. This is probably the best one I've done, to be honest. Well, maybe not. I didn't really paint those horns there. I didn't like it that much. But I mean, I got those for like $10. Got two of them from the same box for $10. So I was like, it's going to be expensive because you hear all these these Warhammer models and whatever. Like it's expensive, it's blah blah blah. It's like you don't need a specific brand or special paint or whatever, or special brushes or horsehair. Oh, synthetic brushes like $10. Tap water free. Dixie cup like a penny. God, everybody's just on about hand reveal. So I just said, screw it. Try your best. What if you mess it up? Oh, you strip it, try again. Just gotta get way up in his butthole. This paint I'm noticing is water resistant. So it's kind of pushing the water away, which might be interesting, but probably not. What I need is some liquid primer so I can get in where I can't necessarily prime. They have all these beginners painting tutorial. All right, step 1, take your airbrush. It's like, how many beginners do you think have an airbrush? Come on, man. Use your brain. There was that Jazza video where I love him. He does like beginner art supplies versus like expert art supplies. And, he kind of shows, it's nice to know, like, what's the real difference, right? Like, why use oil paints versus acrylic or whatever. And he does it in an interesting and wacky way. And for one, he had like the Crayola marker airbrush versus like a professional airbrush machine. And he just makes it interesting. I don't know what else to say about it. All right. I don't want too much black on here, but I kind of want the black cloak. I could just paint him all black. Oh, he's a rogue. He's all black. But I don't really want to do that with this guy. Here's what he looks like. I know it's kind of hard to see. I'll turn my lamp off for a minute. There he is. There's his cape I painted. I got all around his leggies. And then this other one I'm going to do. Oh, probably bent the plastic there, scraped it. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Hell, I didn't even do the primer down there. I'll just paint over it. Whatever. That's the worst that can happen. I kind of like doing these big swaths. Just smack it on there. I don't know, maybe Sigurd can give me some of his tips and tricks, but he seems so busy anymore. I also find it funny he can work in a mine, but the state of Australia won't give him a driver's license. But, that's bureaucracy for you. Some driver instructor, it's his highlight of his day to be like, oh, I didn't see you turn your head. Well, you weren't looking. I did see it. You fail. Well, I'm between the lines, so. And we haven't died yet, so what can I say? Australia's crazy, man. Luckily, Sigurd says it's just the eastern part. But that's also the part everybody lives at, apparently. That's why absolute state. You see memology to get your daily black pill. And it's like every other video, half the videos, all right, a third of the videos right now are Afghanistan, of course, because it's topical. A third of it is the United States being dumb. And the other third is somebody in Australia, Australian government becomes totalitarian. Oh, great. Side down world over there. Yes, literally. But you see, because of their histories, Australians have a natural penchant for politics. Well, politicians are crooks. Not to mention that one guy. There was a whole story about it. I don't remember his name. Like exposed this politician for being like super corrupt. He had something. He like proposed a ban, but he like benefited from it, and he exposed him, and he like put the SWAT team on him for like harassment. It's like, yeah, sure. A gross misuse of resources just because you're super corrupt, but whatever. And everybody sleeps on it. Fucking. Oh well, maybe he should. But you don't care. Politic hard. And normally I don't care, but it's like God. If someone's just blatantly, like so blatantly, just taking advantage of something, you just like, oh well, what you gonna do? Expose it, embarrass him to everybody. Should probably get a smaller brush. I guess I should open like the chat and the Discord because I don't know. This isn't like an exclusive thing or anything. I didn't want to do that. Just in case anybody wants to pop in and have a little chat. I don't care. Here we go. What's the worst thing that could happen? And sometimes I feel bad because I'm like, yeah, I could just This guy would all be brown, but I just want to slap it full of, just slather it with one big layer of brown. Well, that's not very visually appealing, is it? So let's go back to guy 1. We'll see how he's doing. Just dunk it in the bottom. Exactly. He's a shadow monster. He's all black and gray. Here, what? Just dry brush him with some white. Boom, done. It's okay. It's a little wet down the bottom, but we'll make do with that. Yeah, I see. I'm gonna take the brush I just used. We should take a finer brush. Nice little fine brush. And I'll get some less runny paint. We'll touch up little spots at the bottom here. I don't have the professional overhead setup. This is just a webcam hanging on for its life. I mean, you can probably tell it's not even straight. So I know it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing because a professional would have it 180 there. Have the overhead lighting and camera setup combo. But you knew what you're getting into. I give this. Maybe I should give him. Oh, I almost put that right in my drink. Drink paint water. Rinse with Mountain Dew. See? Mm. You ever get the light reflect off of ice in just the right way? That it looks dirty. If you came looking for a mini painting channel, I'm sorry to disappoint you. It's like I want this done today. It's a one-day project. Take out the spray paint, whip it open, just blast him. Slap him with some paint. He's done. Got him. Got him, boys. Also, I like monsters because they don't have hair and stupid human faces. You want to see what they call flesh color? Like, this is tan flesh. Like, this isn't tan. Like, I'm pretty pale. No human has, like, what skin color is this? I have another one. It's like, I don't know where it is. Here's one. That's yellow. Ain't the Simpsons up in here. This is AC flesh, which is a little more realistic, I think. We're just and get it out. That's way too much. It's all over my arm now. My shitty quality mic, camera. But you can definitely see the difference between A and B. I would think this is a much better skin color. Hell, it actually might match me on like the tanner parts of my arm, but I've always naturally been very pale. So I don't have my tissues in here anymore because of whatever reason. Here we go. Here's a rag. Oh. Maybe we should bully default into hosting the Minecraft Eternal. Just take out stuff from the mod pack. There's something in that mod pack, like Minecraft Eternal, and there's something in the mod pack that's making me lag, like super hard. I don't know what it is, but it kills my computer every time. And it's probably not something that was in the old one. It's either like loading ins like chunks, or because like I just went down a hill and it just started lagging super hard, and it wasn't even like an online connection. It was a I don't even know what it was a single player game, but I don't know what was the problem. Anyway, we're gonna give this guy a nice pretty face. I say thin your paint, so I just want to make a machine factory, man, and not die from a wasteland biome that's 3 biomes away. Oh, you built close to it. It's 3 biomes away. I'm in the pixie forest. Oh, you're dying of radiation. But what are all the fairies? Oh no. Those aren't fairies, they're mutants. like a little piece of string on his face. It's getting in the way. No, I mean, that's a little too much, but we'll make it work. We're a professional painting channel now. In the past, I've mixed some like charcoal and some pink and give them all sorts of flesh colors. But I find the best looking part, even if you like, you put it on kind of thin on like a bold area, getting into the creases is what really sells it. Oh heck, Dave's streaming an hour or two. That's fine. I just want to kill some time. Listen, this is a chill stream. Before we tune into Dave, and I have to listen to him like say, "Oh, it's never gonna work. Oh no, I should know better." Ah, good for him. All that stuff. Complain about grab range and stuff I don't really understand. So today's not gonna be too special. I feel like I worked pretty hard on my school stuff during the week. Environmental chemistry and all that. If I do this right, it looks good enough without eyes, so I probably won't put them on. Alright, I need some thicker paint here. But yeah, if I had a kid that's like, I want to paint minis, and he was pretty young, I would just get him some non-toxic acrylic paint, some cheap-ass miniatures. He can paint all he wants. There you go. Have fun. But of course, when you just want to try a hobby, see if you even like it, there's no reason to put your nuts on the wall and smash them. Like don't get the full CBT until you just test it, you know. Just try it out a little bit first. I should probably let this dry here, so I'm gonna move on to his hands. Rotate. So if you're watching at home, if we'll focus. My sister took my camera and gave me this one. There he is, one face. The picture looks very blue. I would die. Uh, no, that didn't work. No. Just deep fry it. Yeah. Ah! Look at that. Make it as dark as possible. Today on Mystery Horror Stories. No. Welcome to this episode of Deep Fried Videos. There we go. Let's warm it up a little bit. That's a bit better. You can kind of yeah. Saturation. Oh God. There we go. I look less like a lich now. Camera control. Oh, zoom, focus, exposure. Auto. Okay. Put on the Game Boy camera filter. Pretty much. Resolution. I mean, it looks better. I have a skin tone now. It's kind of reddish, but yeah, that looks better. Let's just show up. Bob, where's your camera? Ow! I look like an early 2000s creepypasta. This guy's wearing gloves, so it actually looks not half bad for my quality of work. I ain't selling Picasso or anything. All right. Don't mix those up. All right, perfect. Gotta hydrate. Just gave it. That's Zino, why did you say that? Just told him it's slurp juice. Victory Royale. Yeah, it was sweet. Loved it. Sucked it right down. Hashtag have to get down. Oh yeah, this is the. Well, I tried to make this my thumbnail because this is the one I'm most proud of. And then YouTube's like, sorry, that's bigger than 2 megabytes file size. Like, I'm not smart enough to make a file size. Blah, 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 blah. So that's him. And then I need some. I would love to. Gotta paint these sometimes. Chug jug with you. We can be pro Fortnite gamers. That song's a meme, like for TikTok, but it also kind of jams, which is unfortunate. Take a sip for look. Delicious. So small wave of ninja memes. Take his selfies and give them captions like that. Got him. Well, I guess it's a good time to talk about my D&D campaign. If anybody's interested, because I have him fighting the Biomancer. And where we just left off, they ran up to him, and I'm sure they thought, oh, this is the bad guy, we'll just run up and stab him, because that's kind of been the case for like the past few guys. But now that I have him at level 4, is it now? I'm less afraid of them dying to a lucky hit when they have 10 HP. And I can start throwing some more stuff on them. So I kind of made a... Yeah, that song is good. Rick is with me. Anyway. So I made a small dungeon originally, and they had the... Well, I made this off the top of my head, because I was like, why do they need a reason? So, Session 1, they escape from prison, and they do none of the stuff I have set up for them. There was supposed to be a magical explosion that they could investigate later, but right now it's like you end up in front of the prison. There's a magical explosion. The roof blows off. Everybody's like, "What's that?" And I brought attention. I'm like, "There's a supply sled behind the carriage, right?" And they hooked it on at the bottom and drug it up the mountain. And then I was like, and they just unhooked it, and it's there, and you're on top of a hill. And they're like, "Yeah, we'll just wait for the guards to do their thing." I was like, "Yeah, the sled's right there." And they're like, "Yeah, we'll just wait." And so they get taken into the prison. And of course, I have 80% of my notes are for taking the sled. And of course, I was like, they might not, but I mean, who wouldn't want to take the sled? I mean, come on. And then they end up in the prison. And I'm like, okay, I have no maps for the prison. And this is my fault, but this is the first real DMing session I ever had. So I got a guy there, and his name was something. I don't forget what his name was. And he was a weirdo because he's been there for years, and he grows mushrooms for fun. And he was the source of the magical explosion. And what he did was he grew a bunch of mushrooms and gathered up all this chemical stuff, and he used it to try to blow a hole, but it ended up just blowing a hole in the roof. So with his help, because he's been there forever, he knows like the guard patrol patterns. They use him to escape, and one player is playing a paladin, and he's like being a fucking weirdo. He's cool, but his character is a weirdo, and he's like, we. He's like, we should just serve our sentences because we did a bad thing. I was like, God damn, escape the prison. And then, of course, he knows, so he has to like metagame it a little bit. He's like, well, if we capture her, then maybe we'll get out of prison. And then we go on this big roundabout thing where one player is escaping and the other two players are quote unquote not escaping. But they're trying to catch her and bring her back. So yeah, the prison's not very big because it doesn't have a map. And they finally make it outside, and then she's walking down the road, and I'm like, "Yeah, there's some supply sleds there," and they're like, "Quick, we can use these to catch her." And I was like, "Yes!" So I basically took the whole sled encounter and moved it up. So, and then I think they thought this was like probably the most fun part of the night because I was like, there's some guards, they're just on horses, walking up and down the road, and and down come two people on a sled, just zips by them. They take the third player, they get like back of the knee into the sled, so she's on there too, and they're rocketing down the hill, and then they have to fight off these. One guy has to steer to dodge like trees and rocks and potholes and whatever else you want to imagine, and then they have other two guys are fighting off the guards on horseback that's trying to fight him, trying to stop him. And I was like, I just want him to go down a hill and hit like a jump, and this is a reason why the guards just aren't on their butt the whole time. So there's like a 90-degree turn, and I was like, maybe they'll just fall. And he's like, "Can I try to turn?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's a pretty strong turn, so everybody's gonna need to lean into it." And then so everybody rolls, and it's like 2019 and 18, and I was like, God, ugh. And just I was like, all right, you whip the corner. The guards have been defeated. You've knocked their horses out from under them, and yada yada yada. And then like the ground kind of evens out, so it's like a flattish part. And then they just leave the sled behind, which is weird, but they do. Um, and what's next? They come across Muriel, like a nice little old lady in the town. She's like everyone's grandmother in the town. Didn't even have her written in, but I need them to do something because they're not in the woods. They can't like encounter like. I guess they could, but they're supposed to be like on the other side of a ravine where there's nothing, and they're just taking the road down. So there's Muriel, and she's there, and of course no one's picked to play a cleric, which this party doesn't like to do. Apparently, they don't like playing clerics between all of us. Uh, so she's there, and she's gathering up this fruit. I just called a winter wort, WORT. One of the players didn't know wort was it's a type of plant. I guess it's a fungus, but whatever. And she's like, "Oh yeah, it has some medicinal properties," and I give it to them, and they heal a little bit, and they help her. They help her out of a ditch she's fallen into, and she's a little lady and she can't get out of it, and she's like, "Oh, that's so sweet of you, little whippersnapper," and they just they walk her down the hill some more. And then there's a guy in his cabin, and he's like, "Oh, I need to go find my son. He hasn't returned." And he's like, "You should really keep better track of your son." I was like, "God damn it! You just can't say stuff like this to people." It's like, "I sent him out for some firewood. He should be fine." It's like, "You don't sound like a very good father." I was like, "For fuck's sake." So they go find him. The kid on his picking firewood has been ambushed by some wolves. So the party kills the wolves, saves the son. Uh, you know, they're like, "Oh, hooray!" And then, you know, I invite them to stay in the house because I actually have an encounter planned when they're in the house, and they go, "No, I think we should keep on walking." And I was like, "Just stay in the house." And he's like, "Oh, I think we should go." And I was like, "All right, whatever." And then, so they skipped that entire encounter. And that encounter was like the warden's been hunting them, and he comes down to look for them. And then uh, they so in the middle of the night they're sleeping, but if I'd let them wake up and kind of hear, because the one guy stayed up to tend to the fire and just ruminate on things, and the warden would show up and ask him if he's seen any strange characters, and they could look through the slats in the wall, and he could find out that he's like, well, they helped my son, so well, he didn't say that. That was his thought process. So I'm gonna cover their back because they're not bad people. They went to prison, but they're not bad people. They didn't have to help my son. So yeah, he covers their ass, and that kind of sets up the final finale plot. And then what else? This was like 4 weeks ago, so give me a second. Oh yeah, and then I basically hand wave it because this whole session's been shot. I didn't plan for anything these people have done. They go down to the town, and then behind them walks the warden, and he starts like telling them the crimes, and I list them because one of their requirements for making their character was uh, they had to be convicted of a crime, and I said it can be whatever, whether you did it or not. I'll leave it up to you. And everybody said that they did it. One guy said he was in one fight too many, and they finally just got rid of him. One girl said she was accused of burning down a building. She didn't, but she had burned down other buildings. One guy said that he had killed his master in a training accident, but because it was either a training accident or maybe they didn't like the master that much, uh, they just said throw him into jail, whatever. And and he calls him all this, and the villagers are like, "Oh no!" And then down comes Muriel, and she's like, "Oh yeah, they helped me out of the ditch and got me to safety." And then the other guy's like, "Yeah, they uh, helped me find my son and fought off the dangerous wolves." And then there was two guards on the road, and they're just like, and they had their wagon had like slid into a ditch, and with their help, they managed to push it out. And the guards are like, "Yeah," and then the warden kind of looks at them, and they kind of clam up. And yeah, so the town like, because Muriel's like everyone's grandma and everybody likes her, and the town kind of turns into the party's favor, and they start like yelling, let him go," and then the town kind of unofficially pardons them. So the warden, kind of knowing he's put out, kind of just turns around and lets it stop being his problem. And the yeah, and then the party from that point were free from the railroady first session, but they were on like the edge of the world where they just kind of shove everybody they want to get rid of. Session two, they walk around the town. They kind of get some of the starting essentials, blah blah blah, boring stuff, and then they they start walking towards more civilization, and there's a fishing village, and I described that the lake is cloudy and polluted, and normally it should be like a crystal clear mountain lake, but it's absolutely not. And what does the paladin say? He goes, "Oh, it must be a witch." He has zero evidence that it's a witch. Little did he know, there was probably a 50-50 chance that I was going to make it a sea hag, but unfortunately for him, I didn't. So, they go there, they go to the town, and I try to describe, everybody's like trying to do like a taxi ferry service because the mountain relies on the lake, the fish for food, and normally there's a couple traders that down south they'll buy the fish and do that and bring it back, but now everybody's like trying to hark ferry rides just to kind of make ends meet. And what else can I say? And then one old fisherman's like, "Oh, well, the lake was fine a couple weeks ago, and then it just turned cloudy and gray." And on the basically, I convinced them. It's like, go out there, explore the lake, see what it is, and eventually they find a there's kind of a cave that looks like a mountain stream runs into from behind, or it drains into, and the water coming out is murky and polluted, and basically like whatever is polluting the lake is probably living in that cave. So they go in there, they fight some small snakes, they find a guy who tried to stop it before. He had like some anti-venom and some healing potions just in case they needed it. And then they find like what was the real cause is that there is a giant constrictor snake sitting in a pool of water, and the toxin seems to be originating from him. And the paladin goes, "Ah, the witch's pet." It's like, it's not a witch. Stop it. It's not a witch. But his character flaw is like he's right, even when he's not. It's not a witch. And then he's like, "There's not a witch here," and it's like, "Yeah, but there's not a witch." "Yeah, but a witch can cast a curse from a long time and move off." And I was like, "God damn it." Anyway, I kill the snake, go to town, get some drinks. The snake's cave had some gems. They got some money. They go to a town. They they don't want to explore towns. I don't know why. They just do not. They do not care about what's in the town. Don't care about what shops are in a town. They just don't care, right? And I say that's fine. Just need to plan more combat encounters. That's what I did. So they go there, and of course this is all in session 2. So they go to the town. I had planned nowhere near enough stuff for the session. And they go to the Baron, and I'm like, there's some stuff there. There's a jewelry store. There's some shops. And I was like, maybe I can just get them to shop around, to kill some time. Nope, do not care. Off to the Baron. The Baron says that there's a town to the north that on an island, and it's like there's nothing there, but it's trying to be settled, and he kind of hasn't had contact with it for a while, and he's afraid that some ships are going missing, so he recruits them to It's like pirates or whatever. I want you to find out what it is. Report back. And then they go up there and um, they go to a city in the north. And I'm like, please, for the love of God, shop, please, please, just do something. And he's like, a man on a mission. He's like, I'm gonna go to the dark. I'm gonna give him the letter from the Baron. He said he'd charter us a ship. And they get on the boat and they charter a ship to the island and they're there to investigate. And as they go north to the island, they get attacked by a uh, well, the stat block is a giant octopus, but it's a giant monster. They're like, it's a kraken, and then I was like, yeah, that's what I want you to think. And they fight it off. It was, I guess it's technically six giant octopuses. I just used the stat block for one tentacle because I wanted the creature to be bigger than like 5 feet. Wanted a big creature, but I didn't want it to be like. You get the idea. It's just how I balanced the encounter. And they beat it, all right, and then they kind of sail for a minute and let them take a rest and they sleep through the night and they wake up. And what they wake up to is that there's choppy seas on either side of them, and then there's just a strip that's smooth as glass, and on either side there's roiling, and it's like, where are you going to go? Huh? And the captain's just like, I guess we're going this way, which in the stat block of a kraken, they can actually have control of oceans, like the ocean around him. I was like, if he wants you to see him, he will. So what they do is he basically guides them to his lair, where he tells them that a the kraken names him the biomancer, and the name kind of stuck. That he's creating these pets and dumping them into the ocean. And he's like, I can kill them, but the sea's my domain, and I'm tired of dealing with it and killing these abominations. Only problem is that he's human, and the kraken can't go onto land. So what he does is that he enlists the party to go fight the biomancer, and then he sets them free. He's like, go to the island, and he sets it free, and they land there, and everybody's like, oh my god, a boat, because usually the Kraken sinks whatever ships are going there, probably to try to starve them out or do whatever. And yeah, so they go to the town and they tell them about all the stuff, and then they're like, oh yeah, the miners, they've revolted because we don't have stuff to control them, and blah 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 blah. And they're like, all right, let's go do. And it's like 11 o'clock, and I'm like, listen, guys, I've been out of material for like 2 hours. I want you to have a good fight, so just let me come back next week. I'll have the whole dungeon mapped out and everything. And they said okay. So what they did, I did that. So that was the end of session 2. And then session 3 rolls around. They go to the Thunderstone Mines, and they walk in. There's some guys out front, just sitting by our campfire. They ambush them, kill them. They go in. There's the bunk rooms. Uh, they try to kill someone in sleep, fail miserably. Fight them. No one heard them, but you'll understand why here in a second. And they go out, check another room. It's just a storeroom. They go the other way. They find it's a pile of what they call thunderstones to be exported, and they're like, "Does it deal damage or anything?" I was like, "If you throw them and they hit the ground, they just go like they have a rumble like thunder. That's why they're called thunderstones." And it's like they don't do damage or anything. And I was like, "It's it's what they call a wondrous item. It's not a magical item per se, but it just has a magical like effect. And they're like, and I was like, you're not thinking of the implications here. Think of like a bottle of oil. Like, think of all the stuff in oil. It doesn't do damage, but it's like you can set a trap. You can, an impromptu like a warning device, like, and they go down the mines, and what they're doing, the prisoners there, the former prisoners, is that they're having a knockout drag out, and they just like a boxing match. And what they do is a girl she goes down and she checks the room, and I say roll a perception check for what you see, and she sees that, and then she sees the trap that they laid, which is just thunderstones in a line. So when you walk in and you don't pay attention, you'll kick them, and of course they'll rumble. And then she's like, "All right, I'm gonna check the other way." And then she checks the door across the hall, and then I was like, "All right, roll a dex save," and she fails, and she just trips over another line of thunderstones. I was like, "Okay." There wasn't anything down that hallway either. It was an air shaft to the surface, so they're like, "Oh, we better put a trap just in case someone sneaks in down the air shaft," which was possible to do. And it's like there's like unintelligible yelling, and since she's sneaking forward, they run out, they grab her, run back in the room, and the other two guys are like, "Should we help? Should we leave her?" And I was like, "Oh my god." Uh, and she starts trying to talk to them, and I'm like, they look at you like they don't understand what they're saying, and they're like, "Do they speak common?" And I was like, they can read common, and they like make hand motions to each other, and they're just like very crude, trying to convey thoughts, and you can get it, and and it just go on, and she keeps trying to talk, and then I just look at another player, and he gets it. Like, I just smile and I look over at him, and he's like, "They're deaf." I was like, "Think, you get it. You solved the puzzle of the dungeon. Is that the miners who are forced to swing their pickaxes at this stone that makes resounding booms every time it even has light contact are deaf. They've gone deaf from mining this stone." You did it. You solved the puzzle. Good job. Now, there's a fight. They draw him into the hallway. Uh, this guy has a mold earth scroll that he uses to like close the hallway, so it's only like one tile big at a point. I was like, good idea, excellent. And what? Yes. And what happens is I was like, well, I want to give him an out. So they challenge the leader challenges one of the players to a duel, which he accepts. And I was like, you can, yeah, where is he? Oh no. Gosh, I lost it. There he is. Huh? Where? There we go. Now he takes the fight. He manages to kill him after so much fight, and you know, good fight, good fight, excellent. Have fun. Now everybody had fun, and they came out, and they uh And I was like, wait, what's the other? Did the other prisoners just surrender? And I was like, oh, what are they gonna do? I was like, take them down to the guy and the quartermaster who's at the docks, who's basically also the mayor because he just kind of keeps everything running in the town. He does all the administration and stuff. And they go down there, and the prisoners, and he's like, "Oh, I can take them." It's like, "Well, what's going to happen to him?" He's like, "Well, we'll probably just hold him in jail for a while, and then once everything's back to normal, we'll probably send him back to the mines. I mean, that's what they got sent here for." And then the paladin like refuses. He's like, "Actually, I'm going to take them, and they're going to become like my congregation." And I was like, "This is where this is interesting because he's kind of like perverting like what the church actually is because he's making the church about himself, and he's not like an ordained paladin. I mean, he's a paladin in the stat block, but he's kind of got kicked out. He got picked for paladin training, and that's where he killed his master. But he's not an actual paladin of Anu, which is the guy, the god that they worship in the town or in the on the continent. So I was like, this is changing. So he's like, and he can like use lesser restoration or lay on hands and or can he? Oh well, he's like curing people's deafness, and they're following him, and they're just thugs. They have some HP, but they only have like pickaxes and mining equipment to actually fight with. Most of the time, they're just meat shields, so I don't feel so bad throwing some tougher enemies against them. Uh, but what they do is that they and I said it's gonna be like 50 gold each, like to cast one lesser restoration on somebody. And he's like, all right, I'll pay it. And he's doing it like one at a time as he gets to gold, so it's not like boom, you got you got four little grunt people, and yeah, so they start walking up to the mountain because that's where the biomancer is. They walk through the woods. They fight some devil dogs. They have a poisonous bite with a disease that kind of drains their health every day if they fail a Constitution save. He can cure it because paladins are fair and balanced at level 3. Lay on hands cures his disease. Um, and yeah, so that's not really an issue. Then they found, I don't know what he's called. He's called something in the book. I just called him a peeper because he got like one big eye that's been spying on him in the night. And then, so I kind of kill some time because they're in this little traveler's hut, just big enough for maybe 2 people or 4 people if you really squeeze in there. And then the next day they go up. They travel through the woods. They evade an encounter. They have a counter puzzle with some of the peepers on a cliff. They scare them off because they decide to climb up. Took a lot of damage because they kept falling down. And then they pass that, and then they walk right up into the. I guess it's like a palace. Walked right up. They let them in. Had this big reflecting pool in this marble grand palace, and then they fought a creature that was in the water, and then they ran up and they tried to stab stab what who they thought was the biomancer. He was really a ghoul in the book, but I was just like he's just like a flesh puppet, right? The best villains don't present themselves to be murdered. So, but when they run up there, he had a prepared action to flip a table, and Sokyo was in front of him with whatever potions and concoctions he was working on, and some of the people got burned or frozen or whatever. They didn't get the interesting effects, which is sad, which is like being paralyzed or feared or something like that. They just take different types of damage. Or if they rolled an 8, you would get hit by 2. And of course, that didn't happen either. So, yeah. And then after they found it was a flesh puppet, a lizard kind of crawled out of a tube, and it was taunting them in the biomancer's voice, and the ground opened up into a big dumped them all into the ground, onto the body of the giant octopus that was in the water. And yeah, that's everything I've done in like 3 or 4 weeks. Is it 3 or 4 weeks? I guess that was 3 sessions. Yeah, that was 3 sessions. So that's what I have for 3 sessions. So now I got a plan. Well, the nice thing is I can just make a dungeon. I'll probably try to make it for the whole mission and the end of we start at 6, but it's a loose start at 6. We usually play till about midnight, so I need to fill about 6 hours worth of content. So, hopefully get through, fight some monsters, I'll try to sprinkle in some more traps because I never had any traps or puzzles, I haven't put any puzzles yet. So I think that might be a little interesting. Maybe I'll actually like have a physical puzzle that they can like manipulate with their hands. That might actually be kind of interesting. But yeah. That's my whole D&D story. As uninteresting as it probably sounded. I don't know what I'm going with here. Maybe I'll just very solid looking gray. Should probably I need to know what makes a good pair with like, he's got leather. I guess I should probably show you. This is what I've gotten so far. And that gray part up here, I'm going to give him like a half plate. So that's going to be metallic silver. And then, but like everything I wanted 100% to be leather already done. So like the boots are gray. The boots are leather. The gloves are leather. This half plate has leather on the inside, but it's like I need a pants color. I need like an arm color. And the cape's already black. So goes with black. I should just done what Sigurd did and drew skeletons. Skeletons are easy. Just, just do, just do white and black in the divots. Go a little funky spear. Look, his is copper. But I don't know what pairs good with what pair is good with leather. Just do black. I guess black works. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. It's time for us to leave her. It's a sea shanty stream now. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. And it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. It's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Sea shanties with the boys. Johnny Lever.
It's time, be damned, that we went to, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, the voyage is done, and the wind
Extended 12 hours. No, this is just a long one. Well, let's go to the next one.
How hard the winds do blow. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around with a good ship taut and free. And we don't give a damn when we drink our rum with the girls of old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Once more we sail with the northerly gale through the ice and wind and rain. Them coconut fronds, them tropical lands, we soon shall see again. 6 hellish months have passed away on the cold Kamchatka Sea. But now we're bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. And now we sail with a favorable gale towards our island home. Our mainmast sprung, our whaling done, and we ain't got far to roam. Our stunsail bones got carried away, what care we for that sound? A living gale is after us, thank God we're homeward bound. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Now we are ready to head for the Horn.
That one's loud.
Hey, hey, roll and go. Our boots and our clothes, boys, are all in the pond to be rollicking randy dandy-o. Heave a boat and heave away. Way, hey, roll and go. The anchor's on board and the cable's all stored to be rollicking randy dandy-o. Man, the
Great to MP. I don't need your sass. I don't have a professional setup. It's just a webcam. And also, this light destroys the lighting gradient. But then again, I need every bonus I can get here. I gave him blue jeans because what else am I gonna do? Sea shanty too. Wait for it. Am I using a head magnifier? No, I'm not. No, not at all. You just got a desk lamp and you just lean in real close. But it's not that fine of detail art. In fact, at the beginning of the stream, I was just talking about like how cheap I am because I have acrylic paint and I got tap water and I have 4.99 paintbrushes, the whole collection of them. And then I have, well, when you price them individually, these were 30 cents. So. So. That's what I'm doing. One thing that doesn't sit well with me when I paint is sometimes they're like, oh, just put it down, you know, come back to it. You're gonna have to come back to it like tomorrow. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I know.
Okay.
Oh, Dave's live.
Say everything is good.
You hear that? Pros use acrylic more. Are you for real? Acrylic more than oil?
Gotta get this Smash GG
Well,
website. Why am I not logged
I bet they use. I don't know what the. I know what the 40K paints are. I know Sigurd used some of them, or he got a bunch. And there are. Oh, really? Dang, that's very useful information. Wish you were here earlier so you could tell me how to do it. I yeah, Sigurd did some early modeling work, or not modeling. What am I talking about? He painted some figures, and they look really good. But he probably spent a nice piece of time on them. And I'm here, you know, doing what I do. But he also used like the Warhammer paints and the official models and the night gaunts and all that good stuff. This is where I'm at right now. He looks passable. Good enough for some tabletop work, right? I think I'm just going to give him a black head of hair. You made a Lisbeth? Well, I'm going to have to look that up. Oh, the girl with the dragon tattoo. I see. I put model. That's probably not. I'll put sculpt. Interesting, interesting. It's a lot of detail. I need a real brown that doesn't clop up on me. That's what I need. I'm trying just to use the very last of this drop, but it's definitely not going to work. I have my mistake eraser right here. Just painting one, yeah. They're all pre-mades. This is the part I like to get fancy on. Is metallic paint. The silver one broke off, but it's fine. And that gives the metal like a nice bit of sheen to it. You can't really see it, but like on this one, this is the one I'm probably most proud of. Just show it again to MP. Is hard to see, but like the metal barrels, the Cooper rings here, they have that metallic sheen to them, little glitter too. On this one, I tried really hard to make its tongue really icky, but I got like the nice little spit string on it, which I think I'm surprised it's held up that long. You can see it. Yeah, there you can see it. Blech. It's got its faults though. He didn't take too well to the wash, but the other guy definitely did. Yep. This is my first. Well, this is the skeleton. Well, I want to keep doing that. Skeleton is probably the best looking. This one, that one's okay. I think this one looks alright too. Like he's pretty dark, but you know you can see the boniest parts. Where's that one? I had. Oh yeah, this one definitely needs to go back through because he's pretty globby. He doesn't have that sunk rib look that makes skeletons. What, a skeleton? Yeah, mine are all plastic because I'm a cheapo. I just kind of wanted to see if I'd like the hoppy before I really took off to it. I'm kind of glad I painted today because, well, I've been putting it off for a while. I'm just gonna give this guy some coal black hair. Gotta get nice deep in there. Oh my god, it makes him look like Snape. That's not good. Elves have, wow. Yeah, they do. They have. I'm thinking like Lord of the Rings. Like, is there any with brown hair? It's like, yeah, there's plenty. Gotta get nice deep in there. Get that. Get that. But the consistency of this flesh paint just doesn't work super good. Is the paint with the cross on it thinned with a... Oh, yeah, that's... I guess it is a cross. I don't know. That was my sister's. Maybe she wanted to let herself know it was opened or something. It's the holy flesh color. Oh no, now that I paint his hair black, I'm not quite feeling it. Oh well. Hmm. Let's well, while I have this black paint, I usually just take it and paint the base black while I'm here, or gray, or whatever color I decide it's going to be. Well, I should just use this black. I got water all over. Sigurd's like, oh yeah, you need to like base your armies in Warhammer 40K. And I was like, oh, you just need to like do a base coat, is what they mean, right? You just need to get down your flat colors, and then yeah, technically it's legal. And he's like, no, base means like putting grass on the base. And I was like, why? It's like you just paint it black. And, you know, it's like, no, you need to decorate the base too. And it's like, whatever. You know, I know people complain about, oh, you're just using like the gray things. And I was like, yeah, I know you probably don't want that in like tournaments and stuff, but like requiring like what if you do like a lava base and you're like on a snow map or like vice versa? It just doesn't theme very well. But then again, Warhammer does have a lot of negative publicity right now. Okay. He's not looking the best. It's hard to tell on the camera, but yeah, his thing there. His face is thoroughly undetailed. Alright. Take a little bit of silver. Open it over this because it will try to get you. That needs to be a shake. And then yeah, just put it on the middle parts. Usually makes it look nice and weapony. Got a little bit of glitter in it. I don't think that not being able to see is really a big issue for me. I feel like I can see just fine. It's just the you know, painting skills first of all. I mean, yeah, if you want to do like a super detailed model, that might be a tool of the trade, something you need. But for me, right now, where I'm at, it's okay. Especially on these guys, because I don't really give half a hoot about them. Just trying to get skills up to snuff, you feel me? And you know what I really should do? Is that I should get like a solid silver paint. And I should base coat the silver. Because I always make mistakes. And the leather spills over. But, you know, it'll do for my purposes. and I can always come back to them later. Super. You know what? I never thought about that, but you're right. Like if you just need to do like an eye, just right there. Make sure your ink sticks. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. One guy did. Where's he at? He's probably on my bottom shelf. I feel like I got his eyes pretty good. I did it with paint. I kind of like how this guy turned out. Yeah, looks fine. These models love their capes. Like they love them, and they're really a pain in the butt to paint. I need to finish this guy up too. I was thinking about just taking a pair of snips. Say goodbye to Mr. Cat. I never used to familiar with any of my wizards. But, you know, a lot of this stuff. Also, his hands. I painted him with that flesh color. It looked like bones. And it's probably a little too thick. Then again, I based them with the matte black, which requires thicker coats to cover up. So I kind of learned that mistake. You know, I'm sure you can get spray primer, but not at a store where I'm close to. So this is what I was using today. It's just something a lot lighter. Makes it a lot easier to cover it up. So, maybe I'm just not that good with primer because my other stuff that came pre-prime turned out pretty well, I think. So, you know, and usually when I spray them, they lose what little detail they have in them. Right, time to unzip. No, guess we'll have one last look at him. Show him to the camera. There he is. He's kind of looks like Snape with that black hair. He's about to stab Dumbledore. He's got his blue jeans on. He's got his half plate covering half his body. Buckle. You can use a bit more detail work, but I'm pretty fed up with him right now. So I think that's where I'll call it. And Dave's streaming anyway, and I hate to stream when other people are streaming, so I'm gonna go over and watch him. If you like Guilty Gear, he's very talented at it. He's actually competing in a tournament right now, so yeah. If you want to follow the crew and the crowd, there's your link. I'll see you all over there. So you all have a good night. See ya.